These latest headlines from ABC15 are sponsored by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorneys. One call, that's all.
Hello, I'm Megan Thompson with your afternoon update from ABC15 Arizona. Here are some of the top stories we're tracking for you. Maybe some traffic delays for you this morning in the West Valley after a vehicle caught fire. This near the Loop 303 and the I-17. Now, luckily, DPS says no one was hurt in this. The cause of that fire is being investigated. Phoenix Police also investigating this scene near 7th Street and Union Hills. This comes after a woman was found shot inside a car. Police also telling ABC15 the car she was in was reported stolen. Investigators have not given any information yet on a potential suspect here. A 3-year-old girl has died after police say she was shot by her own father. It happened last Thursday at a home in Surprise. Investigators tell us crisis negotiators and the SWAT team had tried to reach a peaceful resolution before officers heard a gunshot from inside. Police are piecing together the case, working on homicide charges. Mesa police are investigating a deadly crash near Southern Avenue and Mesa Drive, telling us a driver crashed into a median barrier, then slammed into several parked cars. That man was thrown from his vehicle and died at the scene. Officers are investigating if speed was a factor. Well, the deadline to get your real ID is tomorrow. That ID will be required if you plan to travel within the United States and don't want to have to carry your passport. Arizona real IDs are identifiable based on whether or not they have a star in the upper right corner. We have everything you need to know to get one on ABC15.com. Just search Real ID.
There's a good chance that if you take out your phone, you can quickly scroll to an app that shows you how the stock market is doing. But you might not be paying as much attention to the bond market. And financial experts say you should be, especially with all the uncertainty caused by tariffs. You've likely heard a lot about the stock market lately.
The stock market has been on a roller coaster because of tariffs.
The stock market is strong.
We're watching the stock market plummet.
But there's another market you should know about, too.
We saw the bond market kind of go crazy.
Well, the bond market was okay.
We have to stabilize the debt and give confidence to the bond markets.
Yes, the less discussed bond market. Investors in the stock market own stock in a company. So what does owning a bond mean?
A bond is a promise between a borrower and a lender.
Typically, when we're talking about the bond market, the borrower refers to the U.S. government, specifically the U.S. Treasury, and the lender is anyone who buys a bond. The borrower guarantees a return for the lender. So let's say you buy a 10-year bond for $1,000 at a 4% rate. You'd collect $40 annually and get your principal back after 10 years. Investing in the bond market has long been considered a very safe bet.
The United States is still the dominant economy in the world. So the U.S. Treasury market, being the largest, is still looked upon as the safest.
Okay, now on to why the bond market has been making headlines recently.
I was watching the bond market. The bond market is very tricky. I was watching it.
That was President Trump right after he paused most tariffs last month. The rate for the 10-year Treasury yield dropped after his original April 2nd tariff announcement. And that's typical when the stock market slides and investors move toward bonds.
So as stocks were falling, we were seeing yields come down, bonds were acting the way they were, and then they reversed. And we started to see stocks were still going down, but bond yields started to go up.
This meant some people holding bonds were selling them off, a sign they were losing confidence in the U.S. economy.
So it was clear that there was a growing stress in the bond market.
The bond market has fluctuated less since then, but it can still have major implications for Americans because it's a linchpin of the U.S. economy. It impacts several other areas, including borrowing.
It affects what we pay for borrowing costs. So whether it's a new home, a new car, credit card payments, everything is based off of the prevailing interest rates.
That means what happens in the bond market eventually impacts your wallet. The bond market has normalized since the president's initial tariff announcement, but we'll have to wait and see what lies ahead. The so-called reciprocal tariffs that are currently paused are due to go back into effect in July. Stephanie Liebergen, Scripps News Group.
It is another ABC 15 Weather Action Day as a chance for morning showers could impact the commute here in the valley. I'm meteorologist Jorge Torres, and here's a look at futurecast for the rest of your Tuesday. We'll see that chance for isolated to scattered showers and thunderstorms for the rest of the afternoon. But again, the best chance for scattered showers and storms in the valley will be in the morning till about midday. And we can see another round of isolated storms on Wednesday through about the early afternoon. and then we dry things out and heat things up the rest of the week. But your planet for today showing the chance for scattered showers this morning with temperatures in the 60s, near 70 at noon, and forecasting highs in the upper 70s with that chance for a stray shower or two still. Northern Arizona highs in the 50s as you head from Flagstaff to Heber and Show Low, 60s, 70s, and 80s across the lower deserts, and it heats up the rest of the week. We go from the 70s today to the 80s tomorrow, 90s Thursday, and for Mother's Day weekend, toasty to say the least, with highs well above 100 degrees. Flagstaff storm chances through Wednesday, then warming up the rest of the week too, with highs in the 70s by Friday.
We will have another update for you tonight. Until then, get the latest news, weather, and traffic at abc15.com, or you can download that free ABC 15 mobile app.
These latest headlines from ABC 15 are sponsored by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorneys. One call, that's all.